We have a new deal for the people of Bowie. We have an reorganization plan on the table now. It calls for a mayoral form of government rather than a city manager, city council form of government. The mayor, who's now a ceremonial figurehead, will move into the executive branch of government. We plan term limitations. I believe term limitations is a concept whose time has come in America, and we plan to institute it here in Bowie. I plan to make that my first act as mayor, to limit the term of mayor to 3 two-year terms, and I'm going to badger my colleagues into following suit.
What's wrong with Bowie city government?
The council is out of touch. The council is out of touch with the citizens and people of Bowie. It's become a private little club. And government is for everyone, And they've simply become out of touch with the typical working person in Bowie. That's simple.
Is city government accountable?
Our city's finances are the private secret of an unelected city manager. In our administration, everyone will know how your tax dollars are spent in Bowie. It will no longer be the private secret of an unelected city manager. We actually plan to list out and make available for people the accounts payable of the city of Bowie, so you can see in detail how much we spend on supplies, how much do we spend on expense reports, how much do we spend in gasoline. We plan to make that available for the public to review at any time. I've tried to obtain that information from the city of Bowie. They won't allow me to see that.
Are our tax dollars being spent wisely?
Many people in the city have suffered in this recession, and the city's operating budget, the payroll, is the largest and fastest growing component of the operating budget, and we need to get that under control. Do you realize the city council has raised property taxes 3 times in the last 7 years, and they've always done it in non-election years?
Is city government fair to citizens?
People have noticed their water and sewer bills escalating in the older section of Bel Air. And one of the reasons why that has occurred in recent years is because the city has gone into the farming and agricultural business by processing sludge in-house. And it's being paid for out of the water and sewer fund. That's why your water and sewer rates are going up so high. One of the things that concerns me in city government is the use of the taxpayers' resources. One taxpayer resource is city automobiles, and we see our city automobiles sometimes in places where they really shouldn't be, and that's not acceptable. Another instance that happened very recently that we learned about is a situation where a city employee is renting a luxury house that the city owns outside our city limits, paid for by the taxpayers of Bowie. And that city employee is running this for a song, and in essence is receiving subsidized rent from the taxpayers of Bowie. This type of misuse of city resources is unacceptable.
What does Bowie mean to you?
Bowie is a great place to grow up. I grew up in Bowie. My family grew up in Bowie. We're second-generation Bowieyites. Outstanding community. The people are great. People are always going out of their way to help other people. It's an outstanding community to live in. The city government, however, has not been so great. And we have a reorganization plan in place which will improve the efficiency of the delivery of services to the people of Bowie. The city organized a Salute the Troops campaign parade, organized by the city government, by municipal leaders and community leaders in the city, and it turned out to be an absolute success. It shows what we can do when we all work together.
What will it take to turn things around?
These are not radical ideas at all. As a matter of fact, all over different sectors, people are reorganizing. Corporations are reorganizing to meet the economic climate that we're now in. We've been through some tough times, and the worst I think is behind us, but we need to adapt. And it's time for the city of Bowie to adapt. Certainly government's reorganized. The state of Maryland is talking about doing some reorganization, And I think the city of Bowie needs to come to grips with the results of the Maryland financial crisis. I care about Bowie. I grew up in Bowie. I owe a lot to the community. I come from corporate America. I've worked in some of our country's largest corporations. I have the education and the experience to make the really tough decisions that our council just doesn't have the resolve to do. We need a fresh pair of eyeballs looking at things. We need a fresh pair of eyeballs looking at our budgets, our operating budgets. We need a fresh pair of eyeballs looking at our capital budgets and how we do things. It's time for a change.
Richard A. Dahms for mayor of Bowie. By authority, Richard A. Dahms.